Oftentimes there are situations where people are on the edge. If they can get a little bit of help and weather the problem, then they can move on productively. The focus of what has been done to raise this endowment is on the area of the greatest need. I think it's absolutely critical, if you're going to have a society governed by law and it's fair, that there be an ability for people who don't have resources to be effectively heard and to have their legitimate rights be protected. And I think if you don't show that sort of respect and you don't give them that chance, it really is corrosive of the whole idea of our society.
We come in contact every day with hardworking people, oftentimes in our own office space. They're not making a lot of money. They really cannot afford a lawyer, and yet they have real legal needs. They're trying to protect their families, trying to protect themselves. These aren't sort of folks in some strange land. They're right here in our community. They're doing their best to get by. They're not looking to become rich through the assistance that the CCJ agencies provide. They're just simply looking to get a fair shake. And I think we all really ought to be helping in that regard.
80% of the civil legal needs of poor people are going unmet in this country. Delaware's no exception. We conducted a civil legal needs survey in the last year. We've conducted similar surveys frequently over the last 10 years, and the results are remarkably consistent over time. 4 out of 5 people that need our services can't get them. So the 3 legal services agencies, CLASI, DVLS, and LSCD, banded together in the late 1990s to jointly fundraise. And we created this entity called the Combined Campaign for Justice. Government support for civil legal services is inadequate to meet the need. And so we are always looking for private support, foundation support, and individual support to help us fill the gap.
If you have a woman who lives in a substandard housing, for example, a housing situation that is infested with roaches and mold, and has a child that is growing up that may be asthmatic, you have a child that is going to have health challenges and therefore may not be able to go to school regularly, predisposing them to possibly not doing well in school or falling out and starting another cycle. If we have processes and programs in place that help people change the playing field so that they can, quote unquote, compete fairly, then we give them a chance.
I've always been moved by Justice O'Connor's quote that said, when you have a law degree, it transcends the accumulation of wealth. You have the keys to the courthouse door, and you really have to use the keys to open them for rich and poor alike. And so you can open the courthouse doors through your pro bono service, but you can also open the doors through your donations. And I think that's what the Combined Campaign for Justice really does, is open the courthouse doors to people that otherwise wouldn't have a chance.
The key is really making sure that these individuals that have many factors in life going against them, they're very vulnerable, they're in difficult situations. For those folks to have an advocate, to have somebody on their side, to help them navigate the justice system and get a fair result is life-changing for many of them.
The legal aid services in Delaware are critical resources for victims of domestic violence. Because the victim is so often isolated and has lost their connection to family and friends and their sense of safety and self, it is so important to have an advocate in their life, a legal advocate who can help them maneuver through the system.
We hope to get the protection from abuse order granted by the court, at least for 1 year, and that's, we got that, and that allowed her to start a new life. And thankfully, it worked, and it provided that foundation for her where she was then able to build off of that and do the extraordinary things she's done since then. And that's really the most we could ever hope for.
I am now, on my own, pre-approved for a house. I'm self-employed, so I'm able to create jobs for people in the community. I give back to volunteering, how I met Art at the courthouse weekly. And my children are wonderful, so I have a great future ahead of me.
Pro bono work allows you to get back to really the most basic form of helping people and using your knowledge and your degree to help people when they're at their most trying time.
We felt that it was important that this businessman, who's in the business of flipping houses, not be able to get away with saying that there was a new roof. And our view of that language is that a new roof is a new roof that is in compliance with the code.
I'm very thankful for the help that I got. And Olga's been very patient throughout the whole thing. She put a lot of hard work into it. She was very calm, and she helped me to stay calm through it and not get too upset and worried about it. And I really appreciate that. And we won.
Both my father and my grandfather realized how lucky they were to practice law in Delaware. And I think the combined Campaign for Justice and the underlying 3 agencies are a way for all of us to give back and give those individuals that haven't had a fair shake yet or need a fair shake, need a level playing field, to have an advocate for them.
For members of our profession, feeling that you discharged the obligation that you had to help serve the least among us is something that you're going to feel proud of, and that you will get back much more yourself than you ever gave.